Hi, today we're going to do a bit of fashion design. I started off doing this lady here. I was thinking about those, I see photographs of women in Peru, I think it is, and they have like amazing skirts and shawls, really heavily embroidered with amazing bright colours. They're often wearing a bowler hat, smoking a cigar, just looks so cool. I would love to be able to rock that look in the way they can. From there, just sort of doing my patterns, I just started doing my own fashion design really. I was just thinking about swathes of fabric and doing contrasting styles of felt tip patterns in each of the bits of fabric, a little bit like we did on some of the earlier classes. And then I thought, right, I'm going to make a bit of a carnival. So I've got somebody dancing here. I've used a selection of colours that I think are going to look really bright and cheerful together. So I've got the oranges, reds and blues there. I was looking at them just now and thinking, oh, I've actually gone a bit Boy George, really. If you're too young to know who Boy George is, please go look him up. He's an amazing icon of British fashion and pop. Okay, so let's go into how I did these. So just put these little people over there. Right. Okay. So first of all, you can start by just, if you think, oh, I don't really know how to do a figure, just do yourself a little pin man. Right, I'm going to draw a pin man dancing and have his, just to work it out. Right, I'm going to have, so feet there, another one there, so sort of dancing away. So can you see that? Okay, so if I have my body kind of here, head up there, one arm coming up, another one coming up as well, so it's all very cheerful. Then I've got a foot down like that, maybe another foot coming up. So there's my dancing figure. Can we see that? Okay, so now I'm going to turn it into a piece of fashion design. I'm going to just take out a bit of this underneath arms and legs so I can get the shawls and skirts on. So my first shawl, I think I'm going to have sort of like that, maybe a bit more shooting over there. Maybe then some sort of billowy sleeves coming up there. My hands, I'm just doing very basic. Okay, now I want a lot of space for patterns, so I'm going to put another swathe down there, maybe a skirt coming down like that. I want, maybe there can be some patterns coming down like that. All right, I'm going to give them a hat. I kind of like to give them all a hat. So I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to get my colours. Now, my good old trusty colour wheel where I think about which colours are going to look really good together. Now I'm thinking about, you know, the Peruvians, their amazing kind of folk fabric. What kind of colour combinations would they use? And I was thinking about the colour wheel and I thought, poof, let's just use every colour because I think that's what they would use. So here we've got a whole load of reds, yellows and blues. So mostly sort of primary colours that are just going to look vibrant together. But I am still going to think carefully about how they're going to contrast in my patterns. So I'm going to start with maybe some circles on this top scarf together like that. Okay, so imagine I've done all of that. I might then put some little blue circles in there. Obviously, you can do whatever pattern you like. There's as many patterns as there are people drawing, is what I tend to say. Might put a bit of blue in between these, a bit of dark blue. Okay, so that one would go all the way down there. Let's just do a tiny bit more. You will do yours more carefully. I'm sort of rushing to get a bit more of this done. Oh, now to contrast with that, those circles, I might then add down here some big stripes that are just going to look really different to the circles. Like that, okay. If you haven't got these kind of chunky pens that have a thin side and a fat side, of course you'll just have to fill in with your thinner sides. So that's looking a bit more checkerboard and stripes, which is going to contrast nicely. Okay, so down here I might have a different thing altogether. I might go for, say, some more leafy shapes. Always thinking of contrasts. Okay, now that could have little bits of orange. Little dots. Anyway, you get the idea of that. Right, I'm just going to do a bit of the head now and show you how I think about doing the head. I've got the head in view here. So let's do my hat. To start with, what colour would I do the hat? Nice big blue hat. So I'll just start with the brim. Bit of a bowler hat. All right, and I'm just going to do the features. So if you imagine from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, halfway is where the eyes are. So I'm going to have my eyes there, that line, eyebrows, eyebrows, nose, mouth just down there. Now with a bit of black, I'm just going to fill in the eyes. So very simple, not going to go into a big right nose, mouth in red. Okay, now what kind of colour hair? I think I might go for some orange hair, some flamboyant orange hair. Who's not gonna love a bit of orange flamboyant hair there? Oh, the neck's gone very thin, hasn't it? I might give it a bit of a stronger neck. Let's give some stripes on the neck. Okay, now maybe the hat could have some zigzags on it. Let's get a very decorated hat. Maybe some red on there as well. Okay, so you get the idea. Going to colour it all in, and what I then did was I stuck my figure piece of paper onto a piece of cardboard. Some cardboard is really thick and it's really hard to cut out. This is quite thin. Cut them out, and then I've got my little figures, as we see, for my carnival or party. You don't need to cut them out, you could just leave them on a piece of paper. It's nice to do a few, because then you get this real sort of cheerful, fabulous look to the whole thing. Okay,